Today's adventure begins right here on Lake Reinhardt in Celebration, Florida. As the recording of this, it is Monday, February 27th, 2023. And I am going to be doing a variety of things today. The first thing I'm going to do is head over to ESPN Wide World of Sports and just see what's going on, see if any of the Rays players are training over there. Even though they are playing a spring training game against the Orioles down in Sarasota today, I'm going to see if there's anybody that's not down there. It might be a really mild vibe over at ESPN. And I've been on a Pike Place kick lately. I've been kind of getting away from the lattes over at the Starbucks here, which is behind that little vestibule. You can see it over on the corner over there of Bloom Street. That's very nice out here today. Overcast and it was a little foggy earlier, but the fog is kind of lifted. I'm sure it's going to burn off as the day progresses. Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here. This is one of those moments where you don't know if you should put your sunglasses on or not put the sunglasses on. Is that a leaf blower or a weed eater? Oh no, it's not. It is a remote control boat in the water. Oh no, it's not. That's a duck. That's a duck, never mind. It's lawn maintenance over there. For a brief moment I thought that duck or that goose or whatever that is, that fowl that's in the water there, was a remote control boat, and that's what the noise was. Which leads me to my next question. I'm going to say to myself, can I get a remote control boat and take it out on this lake? Because that'd be pretty awesome. I'm going to look into that. That would be fun. And this day, just like every other day, I'm inviting you to join me. As well as Howard the decoy duck down there. You can come along too. Shall you? Well, now that I say that, I think he's stuck in the, I think he's like stuck on a pole or something. He never moves from that spot. 24/7, 365. Forever implanted in Lake Reinhardt. You know, sometimes I think I should be a little more awake before I start the intro. Sometimes I start them pretty early. You know, sometimes I'll do them later in the day, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I kind of start at the beginning of the day. I get up, I take a shower, grab a coffee, and then start filming. And sometimes my face is not fully ready to be on camera, but you know, it's all part of the experience. That's where this comes in. This comes in handy too. Oh, and speaking of a Tampa Bay Rays tie-in, right now the Rays play at Tropicana Field in St. Pete. It's 104 miles as the crow flies from this spot. So yeah, when I go to games, it takes a while to get over there. Oh yeah, I-4 westbound looking pretty smooth at this moment. 10:15 a.m. In a way, I'm kind of going to miss this lengthy walk around the stadium from over there, parked way over there, go around the main stadium, and then go across here for the spring training. The Rays are pretty much about done here. Again, they are playing some games, but some of the players are out here. And then I believe the farm teams report soon. They may have already reported starting today, but it doesn't really look like there's too many players out here, so probably not. Because into March, you know, once February's over, into March, the Rays move their spring training camp, or their home, to St. Pete and to Tropicana Field and some of the other baseball fields around that area. So it was kind of short-lived here, but I'm glad it was, as stated before, kind of glad this was in my backyard for, you know, a week or so, 10 days, 2 weeks. Okay, I'm really liking how it is out here today. Definitely most of the players are down in Sarasota for the game, but a lot of the pitchers are here. A few hitters, but a lot of the pitching staff is here, including Kyle Snyder, who is the pitching coach. He's here, so he kind of stayed back just to get the pitchers warmed up. McClanahan's in the crowd. Jason Adams is out here. They're all kind of watching everyone warm up. In fact, Glasnow, got to see him throw some pitches too. Tyler Glasnow, and it's also kind of interesting. Also, Poche also was warming up a little bit too. but the thing I'm really noticing is the 15-second timer, the new pitch count, or the new clock, the batter clock and pitch clock, where I believe the batter has to be in the box and ready within 8 seconds, and then the pitcher has 15 seconds. So really, once the batter's ready, pitcher only has 7 or 8 seconds to get ready. So they're really kind of testing that out with a box that's right by home plate, and they're really trying to get the pitchers ready and the pitchers and batters ready with that 15-second clock. It's going to be interesting. I really don't care for the time. For me, baseball is definitely more about, you know, like kind of drama and taking your time, and that, I don't want to say specifically strategy, but definitely as enjoying it in the stands. I kind of like the long, drawn out process of baseball. It's just my own personal opinion, so it's going to take some getting used to the quick, hurried approach to shaving off a few moments from the game is going to be interesting. And if you look over there, there's McClanahan, Jason Adam, Jeffrey Springs, a few others. Kind of interested to see how Pete Fairbanks is going to do with this 15-second clock, because he always does the glove next to his face, and he does like a rocking mechanism. So the clock's counting 4, 3, 2. Yeah, he got it off. Be a lot of clock watching. And I think that might be it. I think they might be done. Moving away the time clock, one of the time clocks there. Guess they had a couple, probably one for the pitcher to see and one for the batter to see. All right, Pete was pretty cool. Signed for everybody that was over here. Got a quick little picture with him. Of course, I was looking in the sun and so was he, so the picture didn't turn out good, but yeah, gotta love Fairbanks. This is what happens when you are looking into the sun to take a photo from both of our parks. I have made the commute over to downtown Kissimmee now. About a 20-minute drive from where I just was, and all these birds are now approaching me. They're walking over towards me. This one's flying in. I was watching a little baseball. Spring training kind of got me in the mood for a hot dog. And there's a place downtown Kissimmee I've been wanting to try for a while called Willie's Wieners. I think that might be where all these birds are coming from. So I'm gonna go over to Willie's and try a hot dog. Downtown Kissimmee. This banner here states that the city was established in 1883. This is the Civic Center I'm walking past. All right, it states that they have hot dogs, they have chicken, and they got fries on that little marquee right there. They're open Monday through Thursday from 11 to 8, Friday through Saturday from 11 to 9. Sundays they are closed according to what's a little thing on the door right there. It almost looks like a guitar pick. Kind of looks like a guitar pick, but it's not. Also, the Amtrak station is just right over there. And look at their logo there. They got a little hot dog, kind of giving the little finger point, like a finger point. Oh no, he's flipping a bottle cap. That's what he's doing. He's flipping a bottle cap. That's what he's doing. He's just like, do you feel lucky flipping a bottle cap? Well, that's not. No, that was a different. I'm thinking No Country for Old Men. That's what it is. Call it. Well, I mean, there's a lot of movies that have the bottle cap in it. Actually, is it a bottle cap or a coin? I think I'm completely off on this. But I like the logo there. Look at that, a very dapper hot dog. I think I'm gonna get a chili dog, and I'm gonna get a Chicago dog. Going in. All right, I went ahead, went inside, and ordered my dogs. They do have tables and stuff in there as well, but I am gonna eat outside on this picnic table. Even though it's a little sunny, I'm gonna sit outside. But inside, had a little bit of a menu. I ended up getting a couple different items inside of there, including a Chicago dog, comes with fries and a soda for the combo. And then on top of that combo, I also got a sauerkraut dog and a chili dog. So I'm gonna have 3 hot dogs, fries, and a drink. And I'm opting for, not a fountain drink, but a Dr. Pepper. They had fountain drink, but they didn't have Dr. Pepper in fountain. So I just went ahead and purchased an extra Dr. Pepper there. Willie's Wieners. I do love a good Chicago dog. Ooh, it is warm in the sun. That must be like a luggage cart going by there with the Amtrak bags. Okay, the little cling on the door, the mascot on the door is holding, it looks like a Chicago dog there, not flipping a coin. He's put the coin or the bottle cap down, probably a coin, and decided, I flipped a coin, do I want to get a sauerkraut dog, a chili dog? Well, flip a coin, there's only two sides, but sauerkraut dog or a Chicago dog. And obviously, the mascot has chosen the Chicago dog. Served Vienna beef. Really the only way to make a Chicago dog. And this is what we're dealing with. They have brought out ketchup. Ooh, they didn't bring out any mustard. They didn't bring out any mustard. That's kind of surprising. Well, there's already mustard on the Chicago dog. And it really, you don't need anything really extra on probably the chili dog, but maybe a little mustard on there would be good. She also said, the employee that brought the food out, prepared the food and brought the food out, apologized. That's not that big of a deal because there's no shade. There are some trees here, but there's not a lot of leaves on these trees for the shade. But she said they did have shade out here. They used to have umbrellas. And they said the other day, someone stole all 3 umbrellas that are used at these picnic tables. Someone has done a little thieving in downtown Kissimmee. Here at Willie's Wieners. That wasn't very nice. Oh yes, Willie's Wieners. You could probably get them all in one. Probably all get them in one frame here. Maybe. I don't want to spill all of it, but there is a plethora of hot dogs here. I can kind of see the sun is pretty bright. I should put my sunglasses back on. If I can hold all 3 of them. That's what I might do. Look at this. Oh, dropping it. It is getting windy out here all of a sudden. Willie's Wieners. I heard about this place a while back and I wanted to try it for a while. I'm gonna go in the Chicago dog first. I'll go in the Chicago dog first. So a Chicago dog, this looks like a proper Chicago dog. It's got the onions on it, it's got the pickle, it's got the mustard, it's got the little green relish, the very bright green relish, tomatoes on there as well. I'm putting these on. Right out here. Cheers. It has the snap. You always know it's good when it's got the snap. A proper hot dog should always have a snap. It's getting windy. Next up, the chili dog. The dog chili goodness. Layered. Any beans in that chili? No. Beanless chili. Yeah, beanless chili. Really good snap on that. There's also onions in this chili, which is great. I like an onion-filled chili. I like onions. Raw onions. Not a real big fan of caramelized. Not a caramelized guy. Not that I really put caramelized onions on a hot dog, but it was pretty good chili. The chili kind of reminds me of the varsity chili. It kind of has a varsity chili type of flavor to it. There's lots of different styles of chili, but I would compare this to the varsity in Atlanta's chili. It's pretty dang good chili. There are an assortment of hot dog places around greater Orlando area, in the suburbs and whatnot. And over the course of time, I'll probably do pepper in them occasionally. I won't do like a everyday thing, but every once in a while, I'm gonna review some of them. Because I do like Chicago dogs. Any place that has like a Vienna beef dog, I want to do a video on it at some point. I love their chili. Their chili here is really good. I could have gotten 3 chili dogs. I really like their chili. So far, the chili on the chili dog is the highlight here for me. And last, and certainly not least, is I cannot see myself again. I keep trying to angle around to get some different angles, but it's not working. That's probably pretty much the best angle. A sauerkraut dog. Sans mustard and ketchup. Just going in straight. Okay, probably my least favorite of the 3 dogs. Probably because I should have gone in and got some mustard. But I'm not going to put ketchup on this dog. I could go in and get mustard, but I'm already almost kind of done, so. A good train's about to depart. Over here. Right here, the train. I think it's about to pull away from the station, maybe? There it goes, there it goes. The Amtrak. All 3 of these hot dogs are good. All 3 of them I would get again. Number 1, I think I might have liked the chili dog more than I like the Chicago dog. Which is rare for me to say, but that was some tasty freaking chili. This would be the 3rd on the bottom of the list, would be just the sauerkraut. Good sauerkraut, average sauerkraut. Chili was amazing. And the Chicago dog was pretty big, pretty normal. I haven't tried the fries yet either. No mustard or no ketchup on a hot dog, but I put ketchup on fries. That I will do. All right, let's try the fries. Polishing off this meal with the fries. Yeah, pretty good fries. Pretty normal fries. Chili was my favorite thing here. That's good chili. I'm tempted to get another hot dog with chili on it, but I think that's too much. I should let this settle first because I feel like I'm going to be really full and uncomfortable if I have another one. So I'm just going to leave it at 3. A trio of Vienna hot dog goodness. I recommend this place. Really, really good. But then again, I like hot dogs. Chicago dogs, I like chili dogs. But if that's your forte, definitely check it out. Pretty dang good. I also asked what kind of chili they use, and they actually use a Vienna beef chili that is specifically branded Vienna. So they don't pre-make it here. So just like you have the Vienna beef dogs, there's also the Vienna chili. Also, there's a photo inside of an old theater that used to be right across the street from Willie's here. And that theater was torn down, and now it is this building here. But I can recall when I moved here, my family moved here in '91 to the Central Florida, St. Cloud, Central Florida area. I can remember when the theater used to sit right here, and there was a bad storm, possibly a hurricane or a tornado or something came through town in the 90s, and on the marquee they put, it was destroyed. You know, parts of it were still there, but a lot of it was kind of run down. They put on the marquee, "Gone with the wind." And since I'm in this area just down the block, I'm going to walk around downtown. Now there's a sign here that says Makinson Hardware Customer Parking Only. Vehicles will be towed, but you can see that it's kind of stanchioned off. Also, Makinson Hardware closed like a year ago. It was the oldest, from what I had heard, it was one of, if not the oldest operating hardware store, personally owned hardware, non-chain hardware stores that was left in Central Florida or all of Florida, it was one of the oldest operating. And they have built like a bar and grill here, but they have left the side of the old painting still here, and they built this staircase. The staircase was never here, but you got the horse up there with the saddle, and it says Makinson Hardware. And this painting, this mural, has been here for as far back as I can remember. In fact, right here it says Sunrise on Broadway, Kissimmee, Florida, 1925. You got this cowboy here. They have put in these windows. All of this, none of this was here. It was always just an empty lot. And this mural, which is kind of covered up, but still kind of open, where you can see some of the stuff. There's a lady up there looking out the window. Right across the way there, this traffic circle, corner of a Monument and Lakeview, is the Monument of the States. I notice traffic circles are becoming more and more popular. Look, Big Ben, Parliament. Now from here, it almost looks as if they put a little information placard they didn't have before. They did. I don't ever recall this being here. The Monument of the States, the brainchild of Dr. Charles Bressler Pettis. The Monument of the States was dedicated in March of 1943. There's a photo of them building it, and here is the dedication right here, in the form of an irregular quadrilateral step pyramid of 21 varying tiers. Bottom tier is 16 feet, top tier is 2.5 feet. Total weight of the monument, 600,000 pounds. Did I read that right? Yeah, 600,000 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. But there are different things that different states have donated and gave to this little structure that reaches up to the heavens with the US flag at the top. Now the way you pronounce this area is Kissimmee. Now you can always tell when someone just recently moved here or they're a tourist and they say Kissimmee, but the locals call it Kissimmee. And I mispronounce things all the time when I'm traveling, so it's perfectly acceptable to mispronounce stuff. That's how people know that I'm not from an area when I pronounce something differently than it should be. It makes sense when you travel. Look, there's a rock up there from Cape Cod, Michigan, Arizona, from Lookout Mountain. Got a classic truck here, it's pretty awesome. Chevy. Little crow. One thing I always really like too, I mean, a lot of this is really, really fascinating. But there is a Disney tie-in here with being Walt Disney World. This here, according to this, was presented to the city of Kissimmee back in 1966. January 1st, in fact, of 1966, from Burbank, from Walt Disney Studios, which would have been 5 years, give or take, a couple months, before the opening of Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. In fact, that was the year of Walt's passing. Earlier, so that was early in the year though. That was January of '66. And evidently this lump of whatever this is what they gave. Back over here there is a parking garage, also some koi fish painted on the side of there. And this mural has been here for many, many years. But I don't know, they recently, within the last year or two, repainted it, touched it up, made it look all new again, but it's been there for a long time. Out of downtown and now back up Highway 192 towards Celebration. There's the water tower. There's a lot of changes in baseball this year. Some of them I'm not opposed to, some of them I actually kind of like. One of them including that every team now has to play every other team once a year, which means they play one home series one year, and then the next year against those teams they play an away series. So you'll be able to go, and me talking about myself, will be able to go to all the stadiums and see the team I root for, right, at said stadiums. Some of those stadiums would have taken forever, or maybe a postseason berth, and able to go to some of those stadiums. That is one of the new changes that's coming up. Is pretty good. Some of them I'm kind of impartial on. You know, in last couple of years, or last year, they had the guy on second base into extra innings to kind of speed up the, if he goes in the 10th inning, you get a guy on 10th inning, you get a guy on second base, in the hopes of driving them home for one of the teams to win the game quicker and get everyone out of the stadium. Didn't really have a major issue with that. There's also the shift has been going on for a while. This year there will be no shift, which means you can't have, you know, certain base players pushed all the way to one side, preparing for how a batter bats based on his stats. Instead of trying to, you know, hit through the gaps and whatnot, the player on the defense will be ready because they're in the shift mode. That is going to go away as well. So I see both sides of that one. I'm kind of impartial on that. The thing I do not like is the time clock, the 15-second time clock in order for the pitcher to deliver the ball. And I believe it's 8, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's 8 or 7 seconds for the batter to be ready in his stance in the box in order to be ready to hit, and then the pitcher has 15 seconds. So an additional 7 seconds. It's very confusing, but there is a 15-second time for both. And if they fail to do that, there will either be a ball or a strike called. And the other day, now I will say, one of the things I really enjoy about baseball, I don't really care for hockey. I don't really like football. Hockey is just a little too fast-paced for me. And football is kind of half and half, but there is a clock on there. And the thing I always liked about baseball is no clock. You can just kind of sit there at your leisure. When it gets really dramatic, you know, especially when it gets into the 8th and 9th inning, you get guys on base, the pitcher and the batter get into a mental duel of sorts. And maybe I prove it, hopefully I am proven wrong in my assumption, but I feel like that mental duel between the two of them being cut down to 15 seconds, if there is a guy on base, then it's 20 seconds. So you only have 20 seconds to get the ball off, and you're only allowed to throw over to first or whichever base 2 times. So instead of trying to like pick a guy off at first or at third or whatnot, you only get 2 chances to do that. So the game is going to speed up a little bit, but there's going to be a lot of changes. And I hope the feeling of the games kind of stays the same. I have my doubts in a way, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions quite yet. But my first impression is I don't like it. It's going to be strange. It's definitely going to be interesting. And if they stick with it, which it appears as if they are, if they stick with it and they don't change it, you know, maybe the spring training is kind of to see if the 15-second rule is going to be a permanent thing. And if it is, I hope in the postseason that it is eliminated. I hope in postseason gameplay they're not trying to hurry the game up. That would be my only deepest hope, that we still have the drama and the slow pacing of the postseason and the hype of that. That's my first thought. As the season continues, I mean, the season hasn't even started yet. Spring training pretty much has just kicked off. But as the season gets going throughout the course of the year, I'll chime in. You know, hopefully I'm wrong. But I just want to give my first thoughts on the whole clock situation. Well, that's going to do it for today. Looking at this 1931 classic vehicle here, walking around the side of the lake here at Celebration. I'm excited for some baseball this year. Got a lot of travel plans, a lot of different cities, a lot of different stadiums, and I am utilizing going to certain stadiums and going to certain away games, not to necessarily focus every day on baseball, but to use those as a reason to go to different areas I have not spent much time in. So it's kind of a win-win for me. Get to go to some games, see the Rays, see some stadiums I haven't been to, as well as explore cities and areas I haven't really documented heavily before. It's going to be a good year. I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. Those hot dogs were good. is over. Oh yeah, extra footage. One last thought. There was a game the other day, I believe it was the Red Sox, 9th inning, and in spring training it doesn't go to extra innings. Bases were loaded, game was tied, guy comes up to the plate. I don't remember what the count was. I think it was maybe a full count. Either way, there were 2 strikes. He did not prepare himself in the batter's box within that 7 or 8 seconds. It was an automatic strike 3. The game was over. Anticlimactic, super awkward, super bizarre. That's the kind of thing I'm referring to. And it'll take some getting used to, but it's just really, it's just different.